Hi, this is 5319 Eagles Nest. Now, Eagles Nest Road is kind of a main road, as you can see with the double lines here, but this section is in a no outlet area. So if you're this far back, usually you live back here or you're entirely lost and miss the sign. So it's pretty quiet on this section of the road. But when you go about a mile back, then it's more public. So this is the front of the house. It is a one-car garage, and I've already kind of opened the door because Kathy is with me today. So she's in there. They left the lights on for us, which was great. And this, oh, just so you know, let me show you real fast. This is not fenced. So you're gonna have that building that's back there. This is kind of a triangular lot going narrower towards the water. So I believe that that building back there is actually for the neighboring house, not this house. Although I have to look at my text because she did tell me that there were keys for a boathouse or something. So that might be, we'll get there in a little bit. The weather is pretty gnarly here today. It's been raining, not raining. As you can see, the sky looks mean. Just because that's the way Florida is. So the one thing just initially walking into this property is I like this front screen porch. Not that it matters for me because it's your house, but this front screen porch is nice to be able to have, so people can get in and out of the rain, or they can sit over here in this little area and just enjoy the sounds of nature. And as you can hear when I'm not talking, is that it is pretty quiet in this area, and there is sounds of nature for sure. So we'll go on in. When you first step in, you've got this beautiful view. They've got the sliders open down to the Florida room there that then leads out towards the back. The other nice thing that this house has that I haven't seen in some of the other houses, it has a designated coat closet, which is right behind the front door here. And you've got the dining room, which let me zoom out a little bit. So this is a decent sized dining room. And then if I swing around this way, we've got the living room. And then coming back towards the front door, I'm gonna zoom back in to a 1-to-1 ratio. We walk into this little hallway here. We've got a linen closet. And to my right is one bedroom. And they have these area rugs, but this whole house is tiled, it looks like. I don't see any carpets that are permanent carpets in the bedrooms or anything. So that's nice. And then you've got the bifold closet doors there. And that's the side and the front of the house. So this bedroom is actually very decent size. This is a queen size bed for relevance. The only thing that I'm noticing in this room specifically is you can see where they've done some ceiling repair. And really the way to fix that is you just paint the whole ceiling. I'm not seeing any signs of water damage or anything. It looks more like they were fixing the seams where the ceiling drywall stuff comes together, and those seams kind of break apart sometimes as the house ages. So I think that that's what that repair is. But if you put a single color all the way across the ceiling, that'll fix that right up. So coming down through this hallway again, my left is back out to the main parts of the house. This little hallway leads to this bathroom here, which is a very large bathroom. Has a tub and shower combination. And yeah, it's a little dated with the pink. That was definitely a 80s thing, but not anything that's not manageable or can't be subdued with maybe some other colors. So, and you've got your toilet, a medicine cabinet, and you've got 2 privacy windows on each side here of the single vanity. Again, the hardest part if you were to remodel this is going to be changing out this top here, and not because of the top itself or the materials that you may want to use, but just its shape, because it would have to be cut to that angle. But I don't think the cost of the material is going to go up because it's not some weird size or anything. And then they've got another medicine cabinet type thing here. And the other thing that they have is this wallpaper lining just across the top. So it's just a border. And when did you see this? So this is a heater fan for like wintertime, which it's still there, but I believe at one point they may have had a switch for it here, and they have since terminated it. So there is that. So this is actually a very large bathroom, so it's very nice. This is the largest bathroom I've seen as a second bathroom in a very, very long time. So moving on from here, we have another bedroom. Again, extra large, so that's the back of the house and the side of the house. Bifold doors. And I'm gonna just zoom out here again. So this room feels even bigger than the first room, and the first room was already substantial in size. And again, another queen size bed for relevance, and it has a chair. So definitely bigger in size. So this is very nice size rooms, very nice size bathroom. And the neat thing about this particular bedroom is you can come in right off the living room. It's got a pocket door right there, and then you've got the hallway. So you could close the pocket door and give this whole side of the house, if you had 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a little extra privacy, or of course you can leave it open, you know, for if you have extra guests or something. So coming back out through the living room here, I'm still in a zoomed out mode with the camera. I just want to tell you that for relevance on size and everything. And this is the Florida room, and they have these beautiful sliders here. These slide very nicely. They're fairly smooth, even if they look a little older. There's a step down. And the other nice thing about these sliders, when they're closed, they close to the middle. But when they're open, they go behind the wall, which is nice because then you don't have them sticking out, and it gives you full access to this Florida room. The other thing I want to take note, at one point, this Florida room was probably a screened porch, just based on the fact that it does have the sliding glass doors, and it does have another slider right there that goes into the kitchen, which we'll get to in a moment. But, and it's ceiling with all these beautiful windows, but it is under air. So you do have a couple of air vents, one on each side here. So it is enclosed as part of the house. And then you have this lovely door here, and these will open to the side for airflow during the cooler months if you'd like. So we'll step up through here into the kitchen. Again, it's got sliding glass doors here. They did put a bookcase, but these are dual sliders, and they also slide fairly smoothly. So in here, this is the kitchen, and it also comes off that dining room. So you've got 2 access points into the kitchen here. You've got a lot of storage space, pantry. You've got your microwave and oven, your dishwasher. That's a little not permanent, so they might be taking that with them, just so you know. But it's one of those rolling islands. And then of course the refrigerator, obviously older, but still functions. So it would be up to you whether or not you wanted to replace it. It looks like at one point they did replace the light in here. That is one of those flat panel LEDs. But no drop ceilings, which is very nice. So again, you know, you've got more of a standard height ceiling, although it might even be a little taller. It might be a 9-foot ceiling. I can't tell 100%. I'm a little short, so to be fair. But anyway, and then your sink with the window overlooks the backyard, and that would be your boathouse. So I will have to get the keys for it. She told me the keys were somewhere. So coming into here, we'll walk this way. We've got the laundry room with a sink, which at one point may have been like a regular utility sink. They have changed it out more into like a vanity type sink. This overlooks your neighbor's yard. And so from this view, just so you know, it is a little close to your neighbor, but peaceful nonetheless. And this is just a laundry room. I don't know that I would worry too much about that. You've got a water heater, and your laundry room has some countertop space and storage. And it even has a shower, just a shower, and the toilet with some privacy glass. So that's nice from a standpoint of, you know, if you're out doing yard work, come in from the garage, you could just come in here and shower, or if somebody was using the other bathroom. And that is probably why they have this as an actual vanity instead of like a utility sink. It's just because to make this kind of more the equivalent of a full bathroom, so to speak. So then if we go out here, this is your garage. Don't know, the lights are not working, so hopefully you can see. They have a fridge out here. Again, usually they have to leave the fridge in the kitchen. They don't necessarily have to leave this one, but we can ask for it if you want them to leave it. You've got your AC unit. And this is actually a rather deep one-car garage. So you've got not overly, that side is probably twice the width between the door and the wall because of all these shelving compared to this side. So this side is probably giving you 2 feet, and that side is probably 4 feet. So that's how wide this garage is. And then if we turn around and look back, you've got a door that goes out the side here to the outside, and then of course the door that goes into the kitchen. So let's find the keys to the boathouse. So I'll be right back with you in just a moment. Okay, so the rain's starting to subside a little bit, but it is still raining, so hopefully it doesn't start a torrential downpour unexpectedly. But as you can see, you do have the boat moorings and stuff here. Your boathouse, of course, the seawall. But this is the other reason why this looks very stagnant. That's the end of the canal right there. So with that being said, if that's the end of the canal, it means that the rest of it goes out this way. So if the 2 or 3 homes that are on this canal don't have boats beyond here, then that explains why this is kind of yuck looking. But then again, you know, once you start using it, it usually will, as long as you keep it a shallow, what they call it, draft or whatever they call that. I'm not that familiar with boats. I know how to drive them, that's about it. I don't know much about them otherwise. But anyway, but if you keep the engine up shallow, at least initially, then you're less likely to get caught and stuff. And then you've got this big, beautiful oak tree, which looks like it's been here, you know, 50 years. So that's always a thing too. Okay, it's starting to rain more, but that's pretty much this house. And then you've got, that's sitting on the property line, that oak tree, or just within the property line. But that's pretty much this house, okay? Thanks. Okay, so the rain is really coming down, and I was waiting a few minutes to get out here, but the rain doesn't seem to be letting up. So I'm gonna try to do as much of this from the boathouse, which I am now standing in, just so you can kind of see, and I will try to zoom in with my camera on my phone. So like I said, this is kind of angled, so it's kind of narrower in the back here. And let me zoom in this is not going to be the best picture, but you do have, sorry, can't even, there, you do have like the boat moorings, like so you can dock your boat, and you've got a couple of benches, and there, here we go, there's benches and a picnic table. Now, the one thing about this canal, and Kathy made mention of it, I'm gonna hold the camera up. The canal looks like it's not used very often. And as you can see, there's a lot of growth in the canal. Not that I think that that's a bad thing. And again, if you're looking at this house as a rental, not every person who's going to rent this house is going to have a boat or even care about that. But just so you know are aware that it does look like it's not used very often. So anyway, so let me get to the 1-to-1 ratio again. It also has a storage shed. I am not sure whether or not there is a key to that shed, so I am not going to try to access it, but it is a standard like 8x10 or storage shed. So I don't think that there's anything super fancy to see there. But you do have this nice view. That's the back of the house there. You do have this lovely yard. The yard is well maintained, things like that. So I just kind of want you to get a feel for the outside. I'm sorry I can't walk around the yard with the rain. It's a little much. I am soaking wet. So anyway, coming into though the boathouse here, it is basically a standard boathouse. It's just like the pictures. So you have a 1-car garage door. They have video in here. You do have a 1-car garage door here. So you could park like a trailer or your yard equipment or whatever you wanted to do here. They're even storing stuff up in the rafters here, which is nice. And then of course your actual boat area, which does have the winch to pull your boat up out of the water, and a garage door that is more like a counterweighted door of some kind. The other thing that I am noticing here, it looks like it needs just a little bit of repair, so you'd have to get a little bit of a somebody to come in and kind of repair the seawall, but it is that corrugated seawall, and I believe it goes down and all the way around. And the reason I say that is based on the moorings that are outside and everything. It looks like that this is throughout, this corrugated seawall is throughout the whole property. The other thing that I'm noticing here just now, and again, that goes back to the fact that this is not a well-used area. They haven't used this boathouse in a long time, and it looks like for the most part, maybe most of the people are not using the canal at all. But there is some debris in here, and I don't know if that's from this house or has floated in with the storms or exactly what. But the wood and everything for the winch looks to be in really good shape. This is a block wood house as opposed to being open or wood or anything like that. So you do have the security or the extra durability of the concrete. The other thing that I am noticing, and this might just be lichen, is in that right there. If that's wood, then that is rotting. If it is not wood, then that could just be like lichen or something like that. So that is the boathouse. So it's pretty much like the pictures, like Kathy said. And then if you give me one more moment, it looks like the rain is finally starting to subside. Let me get this door locked back up, and then I will, even in the rain, I will try to get you closer to the canal and see what we can do as far as determining how often it's used. So just give me a moment.